From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, November 17th. Going to work in a little bit more sunshine today, but it is going to be even colder than yesterday. We're going to make it into the mid-30s at best, with wind chills staying in the 20s because of those breezes out there. And we also can't rule out some flurries this evening, according to our Storm Track 8 weather team.
The president had decided in that moment to be a part of the problem. I decided and was determined to be part of the solution.
Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence speaks candidly about the insurrection and a possible run for president. Pence said last night during a CNN town hall that he was angry on January 6th as rioters chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." He described the moment he broke away from former President Donald Trump. And he said this when asked if he would support Donald Trump if he did become the next nominee for the Republican Party.
If Donald Trump were to run and win the nomination, would you support him as the nominee?
Well, let me say there may be somebody else in that contest I'd prefer more, Jack.
Anyone in mind?
I honestly believe we're going to have better choices.
Pence did not confirm if he would enter the 2024 race for the White House. He did say, should it happen, he would focus on what he was running for instead of who he would run against. And former President Trump's suspension from Facebook and Instagram will stand for now, despite his campaign efforts. Meta said yesterday it has no plans to lift the ban imposed after the Capitol riots. The suspension is set to be reconsidered in January. Trump is also still banned from YouTube and Twitter. Republicans are taking control of the U.S. House more than a week after Election Day. The GOP secured its 218th seat yesterday with Republican Representative Mike Garcia's re-election in California. House GOP leader and Speaker nominee Kevin McCarthy celebrated the results on Twitter. He tweeted last night saying, "Republicans have officially flipped the people's House. Americans are ready for a new direction, and House Republicans are ready to deliver." Current House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is responding to the election results as well. The Democrat shared a statement saying, in part, "In the next Congress, House Democrats will continue to play a leading role in supporting President Biden's agenda with strong leverage over a scant Republican majority." 6 races have yet to be called as vote counting continues. Indiana Senator Mike Braun says he'll make a decision on whether to run for governor by the end of the year. He's spoken openly about a potential run for months. Braun says the long list of potential Republican candidates will not sway his decision. Fort Wayne businessman Eric Doden already kicked off a campaign. Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch and U.S. Representative Trey Hollingsworth are also possible candidates for governor. Indiana senators have split on a bill that would protect same-sex marriage. The legislation would force all states to recognize marriages from other states. In a critical test vote Wednesday, Senator Todd Young was one of 12 Republicans to join all Democrats in voting yes. Senator Mike Braun voted no. The vote clears the way for debate and signals that it may already have enough support to pass. Young says in a statement, most Hoosiers consider this issue settled. He also says that the bill provides important religious liberty protections. No word yet when a final vote could happen. People living in Rocky Ripple are waking up frustrated as the city moves forward with a controversial flood prevention plan. The Department of Public Works unveiled its timeline to build an $80 million levee along the White River last night. The plan includes taking over some homes through eminent domain. Those living in the town feel like their voices are left out. Many of them say this. As we've reported, DPW says the current levee, built in 1930, is too old and no longer meets federal standards. However, city officials say they have to purchase, then demolish at least a dozen homes to make room for the new levee. That appraisal process could start this month. Several Rocky Ripple residents showed up and voiced opposition to the project at last night's town hall meeting. News 8 spoke with a longtime resident who supports protecting the people who live in the community, but not at the expense of destroying homes and the town hall. DPW says the project will be funded from the Marion County Stormwater Maintenance Fund. Add an increment of revenue from property taxes on Rocky Ripple homes. DPW says the levee design plan will be 90% complete by January. Construction could start in mid-2023. Rules for homeless camps in Indianapolis are not changing. The City County Council is not moving forward with a proposal that would have eased restrictions. Current code allows campsites if they do not block more than half of a public right-of-way. Counselor Ethan Evans wanted to change it to allow camps that don't fully block sidewalks and roads. His proposal didn't receive any support at last night's meeting. Evans did get some support on a separate proposal calling for quarterly data updates about homelessness in the city. AES says scammers are getting more sophisticated with how they do things. Common signs of potential scams: when they threaten to disconnect your utilities, request immediate payment, or try to make you purchase a prepaid card and have you then call them back to make a bill payment. AES says there is one in particular that scammers are getting very tricky with. This is what they'll say.
The utility has overpaid them and they need to help them get their refund. And so they need banking information, so that there's a trick there where they're trying to get people's banking information and personal information.
Just this year, over $1 million was robbed from customers in utility scams. Attorney General Todd Rokita is also speaking out about the scam. He says as it gets colder, the scammers might even show up at your home unexpectedly to supposedly make needed repairs to equipment, such as gas meters. Then they'll say you need to pay immediately to keep your heat on. That is also a scam. AES will not recommend a specific payment method, so don't purchase a prepaid card if you're asked to. Second, if your utility company does call you, they will already have your specific information related to your billing account. So don't provide personal information either. If you think you're being scammed, stop the contact with a scammer. You can report them to your utility company and the Attorney General's office. Police in Idaho say they have not identified a suspect or even found a weapon in the slayings of 4 college students. A candlelight vigil in the town of Moscow last night honored the victims. Authorities found their bodies Sunday afternoon in a rental house near the University of Idaho's campus. Police say someone stabbed all 4 victims with a knife. They say there was no sign of a break-in, and 2 other people were found alive and unhurt inside. Police said they think someone targeted the victims, but walked back on saying there was no threat to the public. The FBI is now working on the case. The University of Idaho says it will remain open and allow excused absences to anyone who feels more comfortable leaving campus. A judge in Wisconsin sentences a man to life in prison with no chance of parole for killing 6 people during a Christmas parade. It happened last year in Waukesha. Darrell Brooks, Jr. is convicted on 76 charges, including 6 counts of homicide. Brooks was not in the courtroom by the end of the sentencing. The judge removed him for disrupting her remarks. He watched the rest over a video link. The sentencing came after emotional testimony from survivors and loved ones of the victims killed. Brooks offered his apology to them yesterday, but did not provide any insight on why he did it. And to business headlines now. Elon Musk said he expects to name someone else to run Twitter Inc. and gradually scale back on how much time he spends managing the platform. Musk was on the stand in Delaware's business law court in a trial that has focused on whether he had undue influence over a 2018 pay package that's worth around $52 billion at recent share prices. Coffee futures are crashing, but that might not mean too much for the price of your cup of coffee. Arabica coffee prices are down 35% since August. There are a few reasons for the drop in prices. Weather is in growing areas is good, and the strong U.S. dollar makes coffee cheaper in the U.S. Airbnb is rolling out new guest verification tools and offering extra support to beginner hosts in an effort to encourage more owners to list their properties on the home rental platform. The company expects more people to become hosts to bring in a second source of income as the economy slows. To help them feel safer with the prospect of renting their homes to strangers, Airbnb is expanding its identity verification process to the 35 most popular countries. 6 in 10 Americans are worried about being out-gifted this holiday season. According to new research, Avocado Green Mattress and one poll revealed that 62% are trying to be the best gifter in their family. And the biggest competition? Mom, according to 24% of those polled. More respondents prefer giving gifts rather than receiving them, though 44% did say they enjoy both equally. In business since 1994, BetUS is a privately held company typically offering sports betting, casino games, and horse racing, and now you can add Thanksgiving travel woes to the mix. With barely more than a week until Thanksgiving, AAA is forecasting air travel to be up nearly 8% over 2021, with 4.5 million Americans flying to their Thanksgiving destinations this year. And you can go on and bet things like, which airline do you think will have the most cancellations this holiday season? All right, to some sports. The blue and gold are playing like they've got something to prove. The Pacers are on a roll, winning 6 of the last 8 games, including last night's matchup against Charlotte. The Pacers outscored the Hornets 21-9 in the final 5 minutes to break open a tie game. Up next, another road trip to Houston tomorrow night, then they're back at home hosting at Gamebridge Saturday. The Indy Peace Fellowship is hosting a turkey giveaway today. The program is through the Office of Public Health and Safety and the Indy Public Safety Foundation. Staff and volunteers plan to give a free turkey to every vehicle that comes through its drive-thru. It's at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church from 4 to 7. And finally, you can help us feed 15,000 families here at Wish TV. A $20 donation will provide for a family of 4 through the Moselle Sanders Foundation. You can donate by texting Moselle to 317-633-9113. You can also find a link to donate online at wishtv.com. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.